championship and success, and all the struggles and tribulations that they've been going through to get there. Looking at, because me, I'm an Ohio State fan, of course, and looking at the team over the years, we have always had talent, we have always had skill. We have always been, one of those top prestige teams, but we never really seem to get over that obstacle to get to the national championship. You know what I mean? To win the national championship, and it was hard. It was hard watching this good team just something little always happen. Missed field goal, little calls that could have went both ways. That loses the game, just little mistakes, and just really wondering when this team was going to get over that obstacle. And watching them this year, I can truly watch them and I can see that this team is on a true mission. Even before the season started, with the off season, of just some of these players off the field who were just all in 100%. The players who could have easily went to the league. They easily went to the league and got paid. Didn't really have to worry about this team or this program at Ohio State. And they decided to stay because they decided they had unfinished business, And then just how some of these players were keeping their faith in God, putting it in God's hands and just going out there and working. Going out there and working and having faith in God and all the players and all the teammates around them. And I can truly see it this year. Looking at this squad throughout the start of the season, with all the hype of what we had coming in, they look good. Of course, they look like your average Ohio State team. You're like, this team is solid. This team, is going to win 11, 12 games, but are we going to win a national championship, though, when it really comes down to it? Because it's like we always have that one game that just messes it up for us. But it's different this year. It's different this year. Going into our game against Oregon, honestly, the team played solid. It was just also little mistakes that they made that ended up losing the game for us. You know what I mean? We lost by 1 point. And Oregon's still a very solid team. But it's what I saw after that week against Oregon. You kind of seen, of course, Nebraska, they kind of struggled against. But you can't blame them because, they had players even on their offensive line playing out of position. So, they just had players who were hurt and had players who had to step up to the plate. But when you look at the team after Oregon, I see a team who is battle ready, hungry. You know what I mean? 100% was, in on this team winning the national championship was when they played against Penn State in that last drive they had against Penn State. Because ultimately, yeah, the game was close, but the defense held Penn State to 0 touchdowns. 0 touchdowns. The only touchdown they had was a pick six at the start of the game, and Will Howard came back from that. You know what I mean? And that last drive of just the dominance that the offensive line had, how hard our running backs were running. Of course, our receivers were going to do their thing, of course. But it's just, it seemed like everybody was all in, And I honestly think with because we got one team ahead of us, we got Indiana. Indiana's been looking really good this year. I'm excited to see how we're going to play that game. But I genuinely think they're going to be ready. I think it's about time that everybody knows there's no team we can't look past because we could easily be taken out of this. But there is still hope for a national championship. There's a couple of teams that I can see, like, across the country who competes with this squad, but maybe like two. You got, Texas, of course. I'm not gonna count Alabama out. I'm not gonna count Georgia out. Those are teams I'm really looking at, but I ultimately think when it comes down to it, for this year, Ohio State is most definitely a top team. And hopefully, number one team. In my eyes, I think they're number one. Because of course it's biased because I'm an Ohio State fan, but at the same time, I truly see the growth and the hunger that this team wants. And it's getting close to the end of the season. The playoffs is going to be totally different. So we are just going to have to wait and see. But with including it with your life, man, I love talking about sports because sports is competitive. You know what I mean? And you can always keep that competitive nature in life. You just got to, switch up your habits. Feel me? When it comes to life is not a game. The clock doesn't end, it's over. Well, it does, once life is over. But while you're still on this earth, life keeps going on. So you have to persevere. You know what I mean? You have to really look within yourself, reconstruct, and see what's wrong. What's wrong with the person inside, and how can you get out of that? And get back into that competitive nature. That competitive nature of just win after win after win after win. You feel me? And ultimately, it doesn't have to be big wins. You can take little wins and you can work from there, because life at the end of the day is all about growth and just, improving yourself every single day. So that was the rant that I had today. So there's going to be more, Tony Corners. I'm probably going to drop within this week. Gotta talk about my Steelers. They've been having a really good year. So look out for that video. But I will catch you guys in the next video. Stay blessed.